Hello and welcome to Middle Crabs on the African Wave. If a country that has touted itself for centuries as the land of the free, all of a sudden starts detaining, arresting, and deporting people for having opposing views, do we still call it the land of the free? Or perhaps the terminology would have to change? Three of the top stories you are missing this week. First, in the United States, Donald Trump is attacking the top universities, asking them to obey some rules, otherwise funding would be cut. Also, in Ghana, the currency is gaining higher against the dollar. I'll tell you why this is so important to the citizen, the government, and the businessman. Lastly, in South Africa, the president landed, and yesterday he said, no other state can tell South Africa how and when to arrest people. It is their sovereign duty. I am Ochi Solomon, and let's delve deeper. Before you do, kindly click on the subscribe button and let's grow a community. The economics of currency fluctuation is so dynamic that oftentimes policymakers, governments, and even seasoned economists are unable to explain the reason behind currency appreciation and its depreciation. Of course, we know other countries whose currencies are backed by printing press and stolen gold from other countries. But that is not the point. The point is to explain how Ghana's currency has been dropping to single digits since May. Now, to understand this properly, in 2017, April 2017, the economic messiah of Ghana at the time, the vice president, said he has arrested the dollar and given the keys to the IGP, the highest office of Ghana's police service. Well, today, the currency is dropping from 16 Ghana cedis to a single digit. So your guess is as good as mine. He failed to arrest the dollar. But that is not the point for today. The point is, how does the Cedi appreciation benefit the average citizen, the businessman, and the government? To understand this, I'll tell you the answer in three thinking orders. The first order thinking is the depreciation would directly affect imports. And so it simply means Ghanaians would need less money to import similar goods they were importing at higher prices. So Ghanaians will pay lesser for medicine, fuel, and other things. For the second order thinking, it has to do with the investors. Investor confidence is now rising, which directly means investors will think of Ghana's economy as a safer bet and would rather move for more capital injection into Ghana's economy, which would directly influence infrastructure development, power grid, and other things. The third order thinking is the indirect benefit of the first order and the second order, that is, more jobs. Business growth, cheaper imports will result in more jobs, and the net effect is that poverty will be slashed over time. The appreciation of the cedi is going to have a spiral chain effect in the economy, and it is just evident that the administration of a country is not in the theory of your thesis, but in practicality. Well, Ghana's government yesterday said
Reduced our total debt over the last 5 months by almost 150 billion cedis, which is very significant. And so if that trajectory continues, the target of reaching 55 to 58% debt sustainability by 2028 will be reached by the end of this year. And that means that it gives us fiscal space to begin to invest in the most productive sectors of the economy.
Since Trump 2.0, the land of the free has seen less freedom, or perhaps the land of the free is now free for who President Trump says it is free for. The latest in this crackdown is the 2.2 billion federal funding that has been stopped for Harvard University. Now, it is not only Harvard University, but some elite universities in the United States. However, some of these elite universities have capitulated to the Trump demand. Harvard hasn't. And as a result, 2.2 billion funding has been stopped amongst other funding. Also, foreign students have been asked to transfer to other universities or exit the university as a whole. To understand this, we will need to understand what Trump administration is demanding from Harvard universities. One, it is asking them to stop DEI programs, Also, it is asking them to start merit-based admission. Also, international students are to be subjected to hostility scrutiny against American values. Well, the university lawyers responded, and this is what they say. The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights. Neither Harvard nor any other private university can allow itself to be taken over by the federal government. Well, this is what is going on in the United States educational system. But could this be a time where African universities will step up and take up this gap that has been created, that will be created? Because now international students would have to find new place to achieve their educational dreams. African universities like University of Ghana, the University of Stellenbosch, Cape Town University, University of Ibadan, Cairo University, all these premier universities in the continent would have to step up the game and attract foreign students. Earlier this year, the president of Ghana said it is granting scholarship to ECOWAS students. Perhaps this could be broadened up to attract other international students into the country to experience how premier universities in Africa are. Following the confrontation with Donald Trump in the Oval Office last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa was questioned, why has the people who were singing Kill the Boer song not been arrested?
You denounced that type of language in the video that you saw.
Oh yes, we've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think...
Of course, the president did not answer, but on reaching South Africa, he said this.
The issues of arresting anyone for any slogan, that is a sovereign issue. It's not a matter where we need to be instructed by anyone that go and arrest this one. We are a very proud sovereign country that has its own laws, that has its own processes, and we take into account what the Constitutional Court also decided when it said that, that slogan, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, is a liberation chant and slogan. And it's not meant to be a message that elicits or calls upon anyone to go and be killed. And that is what our...
That's right. Whether you drink your Coca-Cola before eating your hamburger, or eat your hamburger before drinking your Coca-Cola, or perhaps mix both the hamburger and the Coca-Cola in a cup and drink them, you've eaten hamburger and Coca-Cola. Whether he answered at the White House or he answered in South Africa, he has clearly answered that no one can dictate to South Africa who and when to be arrested.